Hello to the nation. Hello to the nation, DrPlaystation Nation here to tell you guys over a little bit of Prison on MCWarside.com. Guys, I am not joined by Dylan because Dylan stayed up too late last night and is not awake. But we are playing Hardcore Prison, guys, or not Hardcore Prison, Op Prison. A couple of you guys were probably really excited there. We're playing Op Prison. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. But today, what are we gonna do? Well, I have began, this is the official video which commences, every video from now on that you guys see is the commencement of the annual, or semi-annual, quarterly, thirdly, I don't know, grind. Okay, this is the event grind, guys. So if you guys know what that means, you guys are awesome. If you guys don't know what that means, I will explain it right now. What the event grind is before an event, YouTubers tend to need to make videos for an event. So I talked about it in my most recent blog, which you guys should be seeing relatively soon, but I'm going to do /warpx. Basically, what this means is, and I'm going to do /val, let's check this out, $4.2 billion, I need 6.5, so I should be leveling up in this episode, but basically what tends to happen is YouTubers need videos for when they're gone, and I talked about it a little bit. Basically, I need to do 50 videos in 1 week. In 1 week, I need to do 50 videos because I need to do about 9 days of videos for when I'm gone, because I'm gonna be leaving on the 28th and coming back on the 5th, which is 8 days. So I need the 9th day, which is the actual day of travel. /home basement. And this is the commencement of the grind, guys. I'm gonna be trying to do a week's worth of videos today. In 1 day, I'm going to try and do a week's worth of videos, and then hopefully, so about 20 videos, and then hopefully throughout the rest of the week, I will be able to complete another week-ish worth of videos. So I'm hoping that I can do those two things. This is setting my sights pretty high. You know, I'm more than likely probably going to do about half of a week's worth of videos, so I'll get half my videos done. The majority of, like, it surprisingly takes almost longer to edit and upload these videos than it does to actually, like, record them. I've been having a lot of problems with Vegas, but pretty much this is the commencement of the grind, guys. It's gonna be a good time. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them, and that would mean that, you know, I don't get the opportunity to read your guys' comments for this week, but I am going to be stacking up all of these comments, because during the grind, guys, it is difficult to actually find a ton of things to talk about, usually, just because usually what I talk about is things that go on with the channel, and I plug you guys into different things and talk to you guys about that sort of stuff. Why is my phone blowing up? And I talk to you guys about all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to, where is, okay, but pretty much during this grind, what I'm going to be doing, and you guys still have the opportunity to comment, because again, like I said, I'm going to be trying to complete videos, and I might be, basically what I'm going to start doing is wait, what the hell is this? Oh, these are blocks of diamond. What I'm going to be trying to do is I'm going to try and answer your guys' questions, because I don't have too much to talk about. I'm going to be answering you guys' questions. So similar, if you guys watch Skyblock, this is kind of like a teaser of what you guys get in Skyblock, but except in Skyblock, I actually talk about tons of questions. So I actually answer, like, you know, half a dozen questions usually, you know, about 10 questions or so actually, a little bit more than that, in each episode. So this episode, as you guys can see on screen, we are going to be answering Asian Dan's question. I went to previous Skyblock episodes, which I had already answered a ton of questions, and you guys actually had a ton of questions there. So these are, I picked out some questions for today's grind of episodes, and it is, do you have any tips on being a good Minecrafter / YouTuber? So I assume what you mean there is any tips on being a good YouTuber / Minecraft YouTuber. So you guys, I'm assuming this means both of those. So guys, make sure you comment down below on this video and on any of my videos you guys see in the next week, your question. If the more questions you guys comment, the higher the likelihood that it is that I'll talk about one of your guys' things. And I think I'm going to make this a more common thing in episodes, just talking about your guys' questions, because I definitely want to create more of a communication between me and you. And yeah, so hopefully that works. I think instead of comments, what I might end up doing actually is I might make a thread on the MC Warside forum, which I will link in the description of this episode. I normally don't link it just because it's not something that tends to be used that much. Oh, Hey Dr. PlayStation. Oh my god, he actually made a stack of them. He made a stack of Hey Dr. PlayStation blocks. That's awesome. So I might be able to sell those. Let's see if I can sell those. But yeah, so pretty much, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I was saying something important. So yeah, I assume that's what you mean. And guys, make sure you comment down below to, you know, maybe I'll talk about your thing in one of these episodes. Poverty Craft, I definitely need some topics to talk about when I'm not in a recording with somebody else. Let's see. Can I sell the stack that is not named Emerald Blocks but is named something else? I can't. I thought I could. I'm so sorry. He probably wasted so many levels trying to get a stack. I'm gonna keep that though. I'm gonna keep that. Wait, if I place one of these, if I place one, and then oh, crud, and then I break it, oh, it's just a block of emerald now, because I was gonna place them all, and then I would know these are the Hey Dr. PlayStation blocks. Okay, we're gonna keep those. I'm gonna keep those there, don't worry. So yeah, what is the question is, so do you have any tips on being a Minecraft YouTuber or a YouTuber in general? Yeah, I actually do, and I wanted to answer this question in more of a full-length thing, because I did see it when I was doing my Skyblock, actually, and I was going to answer this question, but it was a little bit too long form, and I wanted to do actually a vlog about it, where I just talk to you, or not necessarily a vlog, but like an IRL video, where I talk a little bit about it, and this is actually a better, or a good enough medium to do that as well, so I'm going to be doing that. So anyway, do you have any tips on being a YouTuber or a Minecraft YouTuber? Yes, there's tons of advice that I can give people who are trying to start it out on YouTube and, you know, trying to make videos that entertain people. And basically, the main piece of advice, okay, the very generic advice that I can give you is make consistent quality content. In the shortest, you know, in 10 seconds, if I were to give you any advice, that would be it. Now, because I'm going to fill up a 20-minute video talking about it, I need to fill up the next, I think, 15 minutes or something. I'm going to give you guys a ton more of useful advice for you guys. So, first of all, I have never been the type of guy who's posting on people's, what's the word? Who post on people's videos and say, hey guys, you know, I know you're gonna, you know, mark this comment as spam, but come check out my videos. I make great Minecraft videos, blah, blah. I've never been that. I never did that. Instead, what I did was I reached out to the YouTuber, because that's how you do it. You don't reach out to your audience, you reach out to other YouTubers, because it's kind of the same way where if you go to, you know, if you are trying to compete with another store, so pretend you're two grocery stores or something, wouldn't it be better if you guys tried to make some sort of, you know, deal between each other to sort of, you know, both of you guys get more business to say? Like, I don't want to make it about money or anything, but both of you guys can make, you know, more business rather than you going outside of their store and trying to stop people from going in. Like, that's sort of what the equivalent would be. It's not a great analogy, but it works for the situation. You're not going to ever make somebody be able to love your channel by posting on it. What you can do, though, is by contacting other YouTubers. I understand you're not going to be able to, you know, nobody can just message Jerome and be like, hey, Jerome, you want to record? This is my 3rd Minecraft video, or whatever. Like, I made, you know, tons of videos. Let's actually do /val so I can check. There we go. Ooh, 5 Billy. We're almost there. So, you know, I made countless videos before I even got to talk to Jerome, you know, before I was lucky enough to have that sort of encounter. And basically, you know, I never did the commenting thing. I just made good videos, and that's what's more important. What's more important than, you know, getting an audience is making sure that your content's good enough for when that audience is there. You need to make sure that, you know, you have a good base of content, because it doesn't matter how many people. I could send 1 million people to your channel, and if you only have 3 videos, none of them are really going to subscribe. You might get a few thousand subs, maybe, but, you know, none of them are going to subscribe. And if you have no promise of actually continuing making videos, then they're probably not going to watch you. If you're very inconsistent with your content, they're probably not going to watch your videos and such. So that's kind of where that comes from. That is the idea, that you need quality, consistent content. And no matter how many people I drive to your channel, you need to make sure that you have that. So don't be focused on, you know, where are all my, you know, viewers are going to be coming from? Who am I going to, you know, post a comment on, or, you know, who am I going to ask for a shout out? Because that's not what's going to get you get you any sort of viewership or any people that are going to be supporters of you. Instead, what you guys need to do, 5.1. Instead, what you guys need to do is you guys need to make sure that what you're doing is creating a good base of content. And when you have done that, when you've created a decent base of content, that people will actually enjoy and subscribe to, what you guys can do from there is make sure that you guys are networking properly. Networking is how you grow a channel. End of story. If anybody wants to, you know, talk about how that isn't how you grow a channel, yeah, there's probably some weird, like, I'm not gonna say sketchy, but, you know, not generally useful ways, you know, giveaways and stuff. Giveaways used to be a really big way for you to grow your channel, but look at Mitch, look at Jerome, look at, you know, Adam. They didn't get big off doing giveaways. They didn't. End of story. They got big off of networking with the appropriate people and making sure that they focused on their content. You can look at any big channel, and what happened to the ones that did giveaways? White Boy 7th Street and Xjaws did giveaways back in the day. I bet for a lot of you guys, this is the first time that you guys are hearing of those channels. And for those of you who, you know, aren't hearing about those channels for the first time, the majority of you probably don't watch them. Because what they focused on was getting an audience to their channel rather than getting a good base of content. And some of you guys might like their content, and I'm not saying their content is bad necessarily, but I'm saying it would definitely be better if instead of focusing on, you know, making sure that they were doing giveaways and stuff, if they were focusing on making sure their content was better, they would make better content. End of story. Thank you, person who's giving me all these stacks of emeralds. That's really nice of you. Damn, boy. Boy. Wow, this is actually a lot. I should probably... I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Thank you, thank you. Damn. Let's check this out. Val. Cool, 5.2. Let's mine now. So, that's basically what it means to make consistent quality content, is to get that base of content there and make sure that you're focusing on that. You know, like I said before too, it is important to network, so make sure that you are focusing on networking as well. Message YouTubers though. When you find a good channel that you want to, you know, you think of posting a comment on saying, hey, come subscribe to my channel, why don't you message that YouTuber? Say, hey, you know, I'd like to make videos with you. I'd like to do this or that. Now, you know, you have to be realistic in the way of understanding that, you know, people are generally going to say no. People are generally going to say no. And especially smaller channels, you know, when you're dealing with channels around, you know, 500 subs or something like that. Like, for instance, I would record with a channel with 50,000 subs, no problem. That is a 30,000 subscriber gap. But I would record with a channel with 50,000 subscribers, no problem, assuming that they made good content. We're assuming that all the people who I talk about make good content. If you don't make, you know, rule number one that I went over is making consistent quality content. And if you don't do that, then I'm not going to, like, want to make videos with you or play Minecraft with you. Like, I'll play it with you recreationally, but as far as, you know, making entertaining content, if you don't practice, you know, privately making sure you make good content, why would I want to make, you know, videos with you where my audience is going to see them and they might not necessarily enjoy the content? Anyway, getting back to it. You know, I would have no problem recording with somebody who, you know, only has maybe 50,000 subscribers, even though that's a 30... Oh. Damn it. Damn it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get back. Let's get back to this. Here we go. And let's get back to prison. And here we go. So I would have no problem doing something like that, even though that's a 30,000 subscriber gap. If you change that to, you know, somebody with 1,000 subs versus 31,000, it's a much higher percentage of your audience, and because of that, people tend to not be as nice, as well as just generally smaller channels. Like, I remember I had, you know, 500 subscribers, and somebody would have 600, and they would be like, no, I'm not recording with you because, you know, you don't have enough viewers. And that's the wrong way to treat the situation. That's definitely the wrong way for you to deal with people. If you're the type of person that's just going to say no to somebody because they have, you know, marginally less viewers or viewership than you, then that's not right. You know, what you should be looking at mainly is the type of content that they create. And then also you have to look at making sure that, you know, they're a secure, they're secure, I guess, to say. They're making appropriate, you know, content that you can get behind. Because when I record with somebody, what I'm basically saying is I'm suggesting to all of you guys to go, you know, watch their content and such. When you see me record with Starboy, you know, I'm recording with Starboy because he makes good content, and I really do enjoy the things that he does. And he helps it on the server a lot, which is really awesome. But it means that I endorse his content, and I think that that's good. I don't necessarily watch every one of his videos, and I'm not saying you guys have to either, but I am saying that if you guys are looking for, you know, content to watch, Starboy is a good place to start. When I record with Dylan, I'm saying, hey guys, I endorse this content, and that's a good place to start. I can't endorse content that, you know, isn't made. Like, I'm not going to endorse a channel. If Dylan only made one video a week, then I'd be like, you guys probably shouldn't subscribe to him. There's a lot of people which you can subscribe to that make just as good content as Dylan, and, you know, it's more often than once a week. I wouldn't suggest Starboy if it was the same thing, or if it was, you know, 10 videos a day, but it wasn't very good content. I was like, well, you can find a ton of people who are going to make better content than this. So that's sort of the situation that I'm running into, is you got to make sure that you're making quality, consistent content, and then focus on your networking, making sure that you're networking with the right people, making the right sort of friends on, you know, the internet. I have tons of friends, guys. I have tons of friends on the internet that, you know, I value their friendship. And basically what I like to do is think of, would I invite them to my wedding? And yes, if I was getting married, I would invite a ton of the people who I currently record with to my wedding, and I would be perfectly fine with that. You know, a lot of them probably wouldn't come for the reason that, you know, they don't exactly have, you know, a couple $1,000s to spend to fly out to wherever the wedding would be and do that sort of thing. But would I invite them? Would I like them to be there? Yeah, sure. And there's a ton of them. It's not, you know, these very simple sort of very flat, one-dimensional friendships where it's very, you know, oh, you know, we record together because we have, like, a lot of people think that. A lot of people think larger YouTubers only record with other YouTubers because they have, you know, they have a ton of subscribers. Like, the only reason I record with Noah is because he has a ton of subscribers. I actually had more subscribers than Noah for a long time. And then, you know, he focused more on his content. He made better content. Because he made better content, more people wanted to record with him. And, you know, he was a channel that more people wanted to endorse, and that's what happened. So that could be anybody. That just as well, Noah could have been anybody that wanted to make, you know, really good content and focused on their content. So, do I have any tips for Minecraft YouTubers? Exactly what I said. Focus on making good quality content, the best that you possibly can. If you guys need to, you know, a lot of people use excuses like, oh, you know, I don't have a great computer, oh, I don't, you know, have great internet and stuff like that. And yes, those are going to be limiting factors, but for instance, with me, I did not buy my first graphics card with money I made off YouTube. I just didn't. I saved up for a long time with, you know, gifts and stuff, you know, like for a lot of birthdays, I asked just for money from a ton of people in my family. I, you know, did babysitting a lot. I babysat a lot. I, you know, did a ton of chores. I did just random jobs around, like mowing lawns and such. And I took every opportunity that I could. I saved up for a long time, and I went and bought a graphics card, which I put into my desktop computer. And I know a lot of people don't have a desktop computer, which makes it even more difficult, because it means you need to actually go buy a desktop computer, which are, you know, properly priced. You guys could go probably get a desktop computer that's, you know, low spec for a pretty decent cost, and then work on, you know, upgrading the graphics card and stuff. You guys don't need to go buy, you know, a $2,000 computer right off of that. My computer isn't even worth $2,000. And, you know, you guys can figure out exactly how you're going to do that as far as upload speed and stuff like that. That is one of the hurdles that Noah needed to jump over when he first started. You know, Noah used to not do daily uploads. He used to not do daily uploads for a long time because he had a bandwidth cap on his internet. He could only use a limited amount of internet, and that was the same problem I ran into too. I could only do, you know, a certain amount of videos a month because I had a bandwidth cap on my internet, meaning I could only upload a certain amount of internet each month. And that was a problem that we both ran into, and we both conquered eventually. Eventually, you know, we uploaded the limited amount of videos that we could, and then we both moved up to one a day when we got, you know, partnered and stuff, and we started making a little bit of money. We could actually pay for, you know, more internet, pay our parents to, you know, upgrade our internet connection, and it was a hurdle that we got over. So, please, guys, don't be, you know, complaining. I hate that. I hate when I see, you know, smaller channels complaining about having to, you know, oh, you know, you guys are just saying this because you have this many subscribers. We were all there. You know, like all these channels, you know, whether it was Noah, whether it was me, whether it was Palmer, whether it was whatever, Dylan, Starboy, whatever, we've all been there. Some of us are still making our way up. I think Starboy is one of the smaller channels that, you know, I feature on this channel, and, you know, we've all been there. Gabe's, you know, doing the grind right now. Like, that's a perfect example. I think Gabe makes really amazing content, and it's more rewarding for him now, because if he were like, for a long time Gabe recorded with Noah and didn't get very many subscribers and didn't get, you know, very many views on his channel or people coming over, for the reason that, you know, he didn't make consistent quality content on his channel. He did make good content, but it wasn't very consistent, and he ran through a lot of, you know, issues with that, and that's, you know, his own thing. And then he started making consistent quality content, and now he records factions with Noah. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about Gabe Craft for the win and Noah Craft for the win. He started recording with Noah now, and now he's actually growing a lot more than what he did before when he recorded a lot more with Noah. So you'll see a lot more results when you start making more consistent quality content rather than focusing on who you're going to record with and such. So anyway, that is this episode. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys slam that rating button if you guys would like to tell me what you guys would like. I'm not going to say slam the like button. I'm going to say slam the rating button, regardless of whether it's like or dislike. I like to see you guys telling me, you know, hey, I want to see more of this. I don't want to see more of this. Make sure you guys comment down below what questions you guys want to see. Thank you, Asian X Dan, for commenting that question. It really does help out, and you know, it helps make content better. So we're gonna continue on with the grind. You guys will probably see this shirt a lot in my face cams, unless I decide to change it for any particular purpose. But yeah, so hopefully you guys did enjoy. Slam the rating button. Subscribe to Join the Nation if you already haven't and want to see more consistent quality Minecraft content and such. And make sure you guys comment down below and come check out mcwarside.com. We got a new store link, by the way. If you guys want to check out the MC Warside store, it's store.mcwarside.com. You guys can check out the link in the description. We finally set that up. I had to set that up. It was actually like mission impossible to do. But you guys can check that out. It's no longer, I think it was like warsidemc.buycraft.net or something. Store.mcwarside.com. Talk to you guys later.